that Dennis gave you guys?
Oh, man. You know, the guy's played in a lot of big games. I was just thinking about it when we were talking about trading for him. That was one of the things that came up. Like, this guy's played in huge games in the NBA and then on the international scene. So this type of game fits him. But I think it started with him getting to the rim, and then that loosened up the jumper for him. And then I thought his defense on Barrett, he really got under him, harassed him. He was, as he likes to call him, Dennis the Menace tonight,
In Toronto, Evan didn't have two very good games. He didn't necessarily have the greatest first half tonight, but had an excellent second half. Just what kind of impact did he provide?
Man, really good. I mean, those threes were like we needed them, I know that's not his bread and butter, but man, he hit them and hit them with confidence. And like I said, I thought those threes were really timely. But more forceful tonight, just in general,
Joe Reedy.
Kenny, what was the biggest key defensively in the fourth quarter?
I think limited them to one shot. Like, I don't know what their offense. It felt like, first half, that quarter we gave up 4. It's like the key to the series for us. Being able to rebound the ball, and I felt like we were holding them to one shot. I don't know what the possession game ended up, but I thought that was the biggest key defensively.
And then just to win a game like that where he gave up nearly 30 points off turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I thought in the second half we did a better job, right? James, Dennis. I think the ball handling of Dennis helped relieve some of the pressure off Don and James. So I think that was part of it. But I, told them at halftime, I got the live ball turnovers it just fuels them. It fuels their attack. It gets their momentum going. So we still haven't figured out a way to clean that up. If we're going to win on the road, we gotta find a way.
Well, you can call Mikey.
Jenny, what'd you make of the you guys' offensive execution on offense? I know you guys won, but late it seemed like you got a little more static than you had been earlier.
Yeah, it's always Mike. That's always like, running a play and playing a target game. And you're always trying to find that balance to running maybe something that's got some continuity. And I think the guys felt like they had some matchups they liked. But man, a couple missed free throws, right? And we don't fit. James has a couple of bunnies there. He doesn't normally finishes, I think Evan had that one at the rim, but we got we got over the hump. I think this is a step for us from a mental, kind of mental toughness point of view. It was not pretty. We go down 12, the crowd's nervous, everybody's nervous. But I thought we showed really, really good poise and resiliency. When you could have let your guard down. You could have let it go to 20. When it was 12, our guys kept with it.
Kenny, you have gone to Dean Wade in the starting lineup for the first 4 games of this series. Obviously, now you went to Max Strus, and he was able to come through for you guys. What did you make of that decision that you made, and why did it come about?
Yeah, I think it came about. I think we obviously they're gumming up our offense right now. We just needed some more spacing. Max gives us some playmaking too. He can get downhill. He's really good. Really good making passes in the pocket. Dean's kind of more stationary and space guy. So we just felt like we needed some. And it really had nothing to do with the way Dean Wade was playing. And we discussed, man, the guy's playing really good. His defense has been really good, but it was more we needed the spacing and playmaking of Max.
There were a few scuffles tonight between you.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck happened. I wasn't, both times I turned like, so I don't know. I mean, I do think it's the playoffs, right? Like it's, it didn't seem like anything, too sinister. I think the teams respect each other. But guys out there competing. I think it happens. I thought the referees did a good job controlling it.
Do you think that just showcases the grit and the management and urgency for your guys?
Yeah, I think James was a part of probably two of them, and he's a tough dude, man. Like, and guys like there's no BS to him. Like he's not taking anything from anybody. So, him and Dennis, they had that edge to us. So, if a few, how should I say, arguments happen because of it, it's all good.
Joe?
Heading into Game 6, chance to close it out on the road. What is one thing, if you could name it, that you would change about from the way things have gone the last couple games heading into that?
I'll just it's for us. It's winning the possession game. It really comes down to that. I've said it before the game. You can talk all pick and roll, all that stuff. Are we going to win the scrums? Are we going to win the rebounds? Are we going to take care of the ball? I think if we get more shots in them, we have a good chance. But the two games in Toronto, we were minus 21 in the possession game, which is like, it's like statistically like really hard to win games at. So, our mentality going in there, got to be able to rebound the ball, got to be able to take care of it. Otherwise we'll be back here for Game 7.
Chris?
Hey, Kenny.
Chris?
What do you feel like was the difference in being able to take care of the ball, especially in the second half?
I think Dennis's ball handling helps. Having another ball handler out there helped. I thought our screening was better. You got to screen these elite defenders off our ball handlers, right? We handled the full court pressure a little better. I don't know. Halftime, I say, if the live ball turnovers keep happening, it's not going to go where we want it to go. So we knew we had to clean that up. So, but I do think the screening helped, and then Dennis being out there as a second or third ball handler helped.
You did go a significant stretch in the fourth quarter with Donovan on the bench there, and you kept Dennis in there. What does that show about this team, the makeup?
Well, I was going to put Donovan and Evan back in, and they said, no, this group's rolling. And that, I was like, what? Like, that never happens in the NBA, That shows Donovan, he's so selfless. I think there's 4 minutes left. I think they just scored a bucket. Now, when they scored another bucket, I did get them in. I said, come on. But, like, they knew that group was doing well and wanted to keep them out there, both him and Evan.
Cameron?
Felt like you guys had some really strong closeouts in the first quarter, third quarter. What are those moments like for the team, picking each other up through those highs and lows to close out a quarter so strong and then still battle through the up and down?
Yeah, I'll give I don't know. James has a serenity about him, a composure. He doesn't like when you look at him in a huddle, you don't know if you're up 20 or down 20. I think that helps this group. Helps when you get down. And Donovan's positive. He'll probably talk more, but James is kind of, he's got a steady hand. Your leadership is what matters, and to get you. And then, I think it could, we got some energy to close out quarters, because we weathered the storm, when we're struggling, if that makes sense.
And Jalen hit some time threes. Well,
yes.
How important was that for him to
have
those moments here?
We're struggling to score. They're denying, literally playing like a boxing one on James. Other guys got to score. You guys are probably like, man, why is Sam driving? Our role players have to play basketball. That's part of this series. Every series you got to figure out if they're going to deny him and top block him, 94 feet. Other guys got to make plays. Jalen's one of the guys that can do that.
Last two, Joe G. and then John.
Kenny, Jared's had 11 block shots in the last 4 games. did
Yeah.
the other night. How good has he been protecting him?
Yeah, we celebrated that in the locker room. Young unsung hero. I'm glad you brought it up. They were going at the rim hard, and he had some big blocks, especially there in the fourth quarter. I thought he really stepped up.
John said,
Ken, you say the game wasn't pretty, nerves. You rallied back from multiple double-digit deficits. What can an overall performance like that do to even just a veteran group going forward?
Yeah, especially this group that's we're trying to get over a hump. We're trying to get to the next level. So, I mean, that's a real mental challenge to me, right? Like, especially in a game 5, 2-2. These are high pressure moments. You're down. You could feel the crowd getting nervous. I think we took a step tonight. Whatever happens in this series and all that, and next series, whatever, tonight was a test, and we kind of passed that mental toughness test tonight. Now the big one is like, can you go and beat this team on the road, right? Like can we go in there and go take this? Because